Good evening, everyone.
The Security Council is established.
Good evening, everyone. Is everyone well? Oh, Dr. Les with us. Dr. Les, Erev Tov. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, how are you, Rav?
Baruch Hashem. Please give us the good news.
Okay, so the good news, wow, it's unfortunately we have to start off with like very, very sad news that 20 of tzaddikim, Israeli soldiers, unfortunately have lost their lives in this very, very important battle. It's a battle for our survival. People don't realize it. When you see people saying pause and ceasefire, they don't know who we actually are dealing with. And Rav, I just want to mention that yesterday, the Hamas deputy president, prime minister, his name is Ghazi Hamad, said on Lebanon television that we will repeat October the 7th attacks over and over again until Israel is annihilated. Now, this is coming from the Hamas deputy prime minister, saying it openly. He said that there is no place for Israel in our lands. So we are facing, and he said, and we will martyr. We've got many martyrs, and we will sacrifice our martyrs for our free from Israel, free from Jews. So we are really facing this is a fight for our survival. And I just want to mention, Rav, you know, my last patient today is somebody that he actually lives in Ramot, and it was nearly 24 days ago on a Thursday night. There was a funeral here in Har Herzl. I went to one at 7 o'clock for an officer, and later that evening there was a double funeral of two sons of Rabbi Shmuel Slotsky. Now he was the Rav of Ein Hatziv in that's in the north, and then he became the rabbi in Ramot. Imagine on the same night to bury two of your sons. And not only that, I don't know if you all know Michael Dick. He's very special. They live here in Ramot. I've known him for many years. So he told me something unbelievable. He said when the Rav got up from Shiva, he's in Miluim, he went to fight. Imagine getting up from Shiva from two sons, and his eldest son also is in Tzahal, in the army. And it's just unbelievable. You see the greatness of Am Yisrael, and wow, we feel so honored. And on my way home tonight, in Kikar Denia, that's named after the Danish that saved the Yidden in the Shoah. There's a Kikar Denia just before 2 stops before Har Herzl. So I got off the train to go to my post office, and there on the side of the street are people holding pictures of kidnapped Yidden who were taken away. And I saw these photos, and there was somebody holding them. And I asked him, "Do you mind if I do a video?" And he said, "With pleasure." And I said, "Are you related?" He said, "This is my family." And he showed me the pictures. So I took a video, I put it on Facebook, and it's on YouTube. It's heart-rending because this is so real. And you see, I was in Emek Raphaim on Tuesday, and I walked past, and you see pictures of all these little children, some babies, toddlers, Holocaust survivors. It's a lot actually of dual Israeli foreigners from Argentina, from all different countries, all abducted. And we have to ask the question, where is the Red Cross? Where are the human rights? Where are all these organizations? They just don't even care. But we must care, and we must always remember them, and we must pray for them that they come home safely, bring them home safely alive. So Rav, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom, and there is hope. Tony Blinken's coming tomorrow. He's a good friend of Israel, and Bezrat Hashem, we'll have good news, and we'll bring our Yidden back home where they belong.
Be'ezrat Hashem. Be'ezrat Hashem. Thank you for the update. Dr. Liz, as usual, very interesting. We're going to start the shi'ur. Jeffrey, don't forget to unmute the microphone. We in Parashat Vayera. What's happening in Parashat Vayera? At the beginning of the Parasha, the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to Avraham Avinu, the Torah tells us. We'll speak about it. Then we see something very interesting, the turning of Sdom va'Amorah. Sdom va'Amorah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroy the city of Sdom va'Amorah. Then there is another thing that happened in the Parsha. The Torah tells us about the birth of Yitzhak Avinu, that Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imenu. Avraham Avinu was in the age of 100, Sarah Imenu in the age of 90. Then the story of the Akedah. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll speak about it all. We're going to start the show. Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, ve'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. I would like to dedicate the shi'ur in the soul of Esther Kaden bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rachma, Harav Abraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar bat Zeaba, Yaakov Salomon ben Fahad, Vora Ruth bat Beila, Malka Regina bat Joya, Keti Gurgia bat Farha, in help of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora bat Miriam, Harav Moshe ben Bahia Batya, Harav Moshe ben Devora, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Harav Abraham ben Marina, Dvora bat Esther, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Sheina Kela bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesa Reza, Ahuva Kaden bat Tali Esther, Baruch ben Sarah Yena, Nichan ben Vered, יהודה הלל בן שולמית, משה אברהם בן חן אריבה, חיה ציפורה בת רחל, איילה עדן בת רבקה, טובה ליבה בת רחל, שרה בת פנינה, לאה בת רחל, יהושע חיים בן חיה לאה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to them ולכל חולה ופצועי עמו בית ישראל בכל מקום שהם, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. וירא אליו באלוני ממרא, והוא יושב פתח האוהל כחום היום. בכבוד. Jeffrey, unmute
Yes,
your microphone.
Is that muted?
Bechavod.
Thank you.
Bechavod.
What? I'm sorry. I didn't get. It was the first verse.
The first verse, yeah.
Sorry.
Bechavod. Okay.
Hashem appeared to him in the plains of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance of the tent in the heat of the day.
Okay. Here we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay, appeared to someone. Look what Rashi HaKadosh say. Rashi HaKadosh say, levaker et hachole. Rashi HaKadosh bring the Gemara in Masechet Baba Metzia, page Peivav, folio 2, 86 folio 2, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to visit who? He doesn't say. We have to understand why the Torah doesn't mention who HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to visit him, who he come to visit. Then it says in Elonei Mamre, the Zohar HaKadosh, in our Parsha, in page 98, folio 2, ask why Dafka in Elonei Mamre, the Torah tells us. Why no other place? And then it says, V'hu yoshev petach ha'oel, and he's sitting, okay, by the front of the tent or by the entrance to the tent. And that's the question that many of the Mefarshim ask. And Be'ezrat Hashem will try to answer all of those questions. So we start with Rashi HaKadosh. Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, he born in the city of Troa. Troa, it's in the north of France. He born 983 years ago. And say Rashi HaKadosh that he actually bring the Gemara in Masechet Baba Metzia in 86. And Rashi HaKadosh said like this, levaker et hachole. There the Gemara said that it was the third day for after that Avraham Avinu done the Brit Milah. But we have to understand why the Torah doesn't tell us who HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to visit. Rashi HaKadosh also doesn't mention. That's shaila been asked by many of the Mefarshim. And I'm going to bring tonight the opinion of the Maharikash. Maharikash is Rabbi Yosef Castro, not Castro, Castro. Okay, he born in Egypt. He born around 497 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And he asked in his commentary, how come that the name of Abraham not mentioned? Why is the Torah doesn't tell us who HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to visit? So he said to answer that, first of all, before I go and answer it, he have to explain. And he said like this. He's saying that when a person gets sick, if a person, lo alenu, suffering from something, you're not allowed to mention his name when you're doing Meshiberach next to him. If the sick is standing next to you, don't mention his name. Why? Say Rabbi Yosef Castro, listen to that Hidush. Because that person have a problem with his name. What does it mean? It means yesh lo takala b'shem. Takala b'shem, there is a problem with his name. He said, and that's why lo alenu, he's sick. What does it mean? The Mekubalim explain that when a person gets sick, that because he done averot, and the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, go up to heaven and criticize against that person. Say Rabbi Yosef Castro, therefore, you're not allowed to mention the name of the sick if he's standing. He says, so what should we do? He said, look at the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, in page 12, volume 2. Chazal say, if a person's sick, and you're standing in the front of the person that's sick, and he asks you to do Mishiberach, what should you do? Chazal in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, page 12, volume 2. Listen to that. Chazal say, Rahmana yatkirech leshalam. What it means? Chazal, that was in Aramaic. Chazal say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the translator to it, will remember you, okay, for peace, okay, number one, and he will cure you. Come the Mefarshim and say, wait, I don't understand what's cooking on here at all. Please explain to me. Say the Mefarshim like this. He say that who criticizes against the person, it's Yetzer Hara, go to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He is the angel. Chazal in Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra say, hu Yetzer Hara, hu Malach HaMavet, hu Yetzer Hara. Okay? Chazal said that Yetzer Hara is all the evil forces that there is. He's in charge about it. And when a person do averot, he immediately go to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he say, look, Mr. XYZ done the avera. Okay, he should be punished. And he start criticizing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu wait a bit and wait, because we say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu very patient. And only later, when it's the HaKadosh Baruch Hu see that it's time to do something, so first HaKadosh Baruch Hu punish with the pocket. Then he punish with the health. Well, if a person doesn't understand all of those hints, all of those messages, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu deal differently. I don't want to mention it. Say Rabbi Yosef Castro, you know why Rashi HaKadosh and the Torah doesn't mention the name of Abraham Avinu? Because in that precise moment, it was the third day, like Chazal tell us in Gemara and Masechet Baba Kama. You know what's happened? Abraham Avinu is in full of pain. Abraham Avinu is sick. Although that he done a mitzvah, but he's sick. Therefore, the Torah and Rashi HaKadosh doesn't mention his name. Why? So not has v'shalom, that if we would mention the name, it can cause problem to Abraham Avinu. Chazal in the Gemara saying that you have to say it in Aramaic. Rahmana yatkirech leshalam. What does it mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remember you and will cure you. You have to say it in Aramaic. Come the Mefarshim and ask why Dafka in Aramaic. Say Chazal in the Gemara, okay, in Masechet Shabbat, and many other places. Chazal explain that the angel in heaven doesn't understand the language of Aramaic. But when we say Meshiberach, we say in Hebrew. So if we mention his name in Hebrew, come the angel, the Yetzer Hara, and said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you see, they're blessing him. How can they bless him? Don't cure him. And he started to criticize. That's why, say Rabbi Yosef Castro, number one, you don't see who HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to, the Torah doesn't tell us. And Rashi HaKadosh, even him, he said, Levaker et ha'oleh ba. He didn't mention the name of Abraham Avinu. To teach us very important message here. Rabotai, by the way, I want to mention that the Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, והמגן אברהם, Rabbi Abraham Avin, they both pasken that le'alacha, that if there is a sick person standing next to you, don't mention his name. Okay? Don't mention his name when you say Mishiberach. So we learn that also from Moshe Rabbeinu. What did happen with Moshe Rabbeinu? When Miriam got leprosy, how did he done Mishiberach for her? He said, El na refanala, El na refanala. We explain, and when we learn that the word na, when we mention it twice, El na, the word na is 51. Okay, gematria. There is a sword on it, and if you mention it twice, it's holding together that it's stronger. If you want, I'll explain that. El na refanala na, that we mentioning na twice, we explained the gematria is 51. Twice 51, 51, the gematria is 102. The name of the Yetzer Hara, the mas, okay, 100. Okay, when we go in and mentioning over him, he cannot criticize. That's one of the ideas. Also, there's a secret on the name Na. So that's how Moshe Rabbeinu, when he wanted to cure Miriam, his sister, when she spoke Lashon Hara, he didn't mention his name. So you learn from here something very interesting, that we're not allowed to mention the name of the Holeh to say Mishiberach if he's standing next to us. Because then the Yetzer Hara right standing there and trying to stop his cure. Let's continue. And then it says, Vayera elav Adonai. Adonai is Shem Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, Shem Havaya. What is Shem Havaya? Chazal explained to us like this. There is Shem Havaya, Veshem Adnut. And then there is Shem Elokim. Shem Havaya is 26, Gematria 26. Come Chazal and say something very interesting here. If you look until now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whenever he spoke to Abraham Avinu, he spoke to him with the name Elokim. Okay? Chazal explained, Shem Havaya is Shem Chesed. Shem Elokim is Shem Din. Why Dafka? Until now, before Avraham Avinu done the Brit Milah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu used to mention the Shem Elokim, that it's Din. Now, when he come to visit him, he mentioned Shem Havaya, that's Chesed, kindness. Why Dafka that? And Shem Rahamim, Rahamim is mercy. Why Dafka that? Said the Mefarshim something extraordinary. They say that Avraham Avinu, until the age of 99, was, lo alenu, was uncircumcised. Because he was uncircumcised, the Orla, that where all the evil forces sitting, that's what we do, when the Moel cut the Orla, the first thing that he put it in a jar with soil, and then he buried it. Why Dafka in a soil? Chazal explained that piece of foreskin that he buried, it had to go to the ground. Why? Because that's what we given the Nahash. The Nahash is the snake that entice Hava Imenu to eat from the tree of knowledge. Why? Because all the tuma, all the impurity sit where? On that foreskin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is pure cannot appear to Avraham Avinu. So how's he used to speak to him? In his dream. HaKadosh Baruch Hu never appeared to Avraham Avinu face to face. No one see HaKadosh Baruch Hu face to face, but like come to speak to Avraham Avinu directly. until Avraham Avinu removed that impurity, the piece of the foreskin, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu can come to him with the name of Hesed, with his character trait of mercy, okay, and compassion and kindness, and appear to him. That's how the Zohar HaKadosh explains. That's what the Mefarshim explain. So now we understand why, number one, the name of Avraham Avinu not mentioned. Why the first time here that HaKadosh Baruch Hu speak to Avraham Avinu with the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei Shem Havaya. And then it says Be'elone Mamre, in a place that called Mamre. Why Dafka Mamre? The Zohar HaKadosh asked that question. The Zohar HaKadosh in page 98, folio 2, Tzadik Het Amud Bet. There, HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu appear to Avraham Avinu? Dafka in Elone Mamre. Why not in other place? Where is Elone Mamre? We have Hebron, the city of Hebron, above, little bit above it, okay? That's Elone Mamre. That's called the city, that's called the place that's called Elone Mamre. It's part of Hebron, it's just above it. Avraham Avinu, okay, that was in Hebron, because he bought Ma'arat HaMachpelah to who? To bury Sarah Imenu, you remember? So he used to live in Hebron. Come the Mefarshim and ask, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu reveal himself, appear to him? That's the Zohar HaKadosh, we said Tzadik Het 98. Dafka in Elone Mamre. So we have to understand what's happening. So the Mefarshim explain like this. The Zohar say, and Rashi also bring it, and many other Mefarshim, that because Mamre, that was one of the friends of Avraham Avinu. Let me make the history and then I will explain and then I'll get to the point. Avraham Avinu had three very close friends. One of them was Einar, one of them was Eshkol, and one of them was Mamre. Those three close friends. And Avraham Avinu was very close to them. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to Avraham Avinu and said to him to do the Brit Milah, to circumcise himself, Avraham Avinu gone and asked three of his friends, as Zohar HaKadosh say. He gone to his friend Einar and he told him, listen, HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked me to do Brit Milah. What do you suggest? Einar said to him, listen, Avraham Avinu, I think that you just finished the war with the four kings. You killed many people. They might want to take revenge. I think that you should postpone it. I don't think that it's the right time. Then he gone to Eshkol. Eshkol said to him, listen, I think that you're in the age of 99. It's very dangerous to do Brit Milah now. I don't suggest that. When he come to Mamre, his third friend, Mamre said to him, what is the question? I don't understand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved you from the furnace. Nimrod throw you to the fire. Not only that, you gone and you fought with who? With the four kings. How did you fight with them? The Midrash said that he fought with them, that he used to pick up sand and he used to throw them and it turned like to grenades and to stone. So what is the question? What are you even debating? Look at all the miracles that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done for you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he took you to Egypt, you saw all the plagues that he brought on Pharaoh. So what is the question? What are you even debating? Say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, said the Zohar, you given him that advice? You given him the advice to do Brit Milah? Therefore, and that merit that you told him to do the Brit Milah and you given him the advice, I will come and visit him after the Brit Milah. Where? At your place. Dafka at your place. And that's where I'm going to appear to him. That's where the Holy Divine going to come and appear to Avraham Avinu. Until here, why is it in Elone Mamre? Come here, the big question. The Mefarshim ask, wait, Vachabiki, Avraham Avinu, Nachon that you have 3 close friends. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu told you, when they throw you to the fire, you have no problem. Huh? You go on to war, HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it. All the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done for you, you never debated it. He told you, Lech Lecha, leave your country, leave your place. You didn't even hesitate. How come that when it's come to Brit Milah, Avraham Avinu, you're going to consult with your friend to do Brit Milah? Should you not do Brit Milah? What is the question here, Avraham Avinu? You've been called Avraham Ivri, that all the world is on one side, and you on the other side against them. Everyone are pagan and idol worshippers, while you telling to everyone to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How can it be? That's the shalom of the Mefarshim. Why did Abraham Avinu, go on and ask the 3 close friends? That's the question of the Mefarshim, Say, I saw a beautiful answer that brought by the Mefarshim. Avraham Avinu didn't ask his 3 friends if to do it or not. That means he didn't have a doubt. He knew that he's going to do the Brit Milah. He asked him that question not because he have any doubt. He knew that he's going to do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded. Said the Mefarshim, Avraham Avinu wanted to know how Einar, Eshkol, and Mamre, how are they believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How do they, in their eyes, how they trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu? That means that Avraham Avinu, by that he asked Einar, and he asked Eshkol, and he asked Mamre, it was a test to them. Avraham wanted to test them. He wanted to know how they feel to the Almighty. Said the Mefarshim. Avraham Avinu didn't have a doubt, because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him to leave, Lech Lecha, he left. When he was in the age of 3, been thrown to the furnace, the Midrash say. Why? Because Nimrod told him, bow to the statue or throw you to the fire. He said, I'm not going to bow down, throw me to the fire. I believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Midrash say. And then he threw him to the fire and he walked. Then the test, when Sarah Imenu been taken by Paro HaRasha. What more than that? Said the Mefarshim, therefore you learn from here, there is a message to us, that the person, when he has friends, he have to test what is their relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Avraham Avinu wanted to know when he asked his 3 close friends if to do the Brit Milah or not. And in the end of the verse, it said, Vehu Yoshev Petach HaOel, and he's sitting by the front of the tent. Avraham Avinu had a tent, and Hazal say in a Gemara in Masechet Baba Kama, like we brought, it was the 3rd day of the Brit Milah in page 86, folio 2. What's happened? Hazal tell us the 3rd day of a sickness is the most difficult one. And Hazal say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu otzi hama min artika. He makes the day very, very hot. And no one gonna bother Avraham Avinu with achnasat ochen. But Avraham Avinu didn't give up. Avraham Avinu had a tent that was open for 4 sides, to the north, to the side, to the south, to the west, and to the east. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Avraham Avinu, with his pain and agony, actually feeling more sorry that no one coming to visit him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent 3 angels. Okay? When he sent the 3 angels, we know that Avraham Avinu was thinking that the Arabim is Arab people. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that he's sitting by the front of the tent, waiting for visitors. Why is the Torah tell us that Avraham Avinu sitting by the entrance to the tent? What's so important that the Torah tell us? Hazal, Rabotai, listen to that. In a Gemara Masechet Eruvin, Yutet Amud Aleph. That means 19 folio 1. Hazal say by the way, it's also brought in a Midrash Bereshit Rabbah. Midrash Bereshit Rabbah in Parshia Memchet. Memchet is 48. Yeah. Chazal say something very interesting. Listen to that. Chazal saying that Avraham Avinu sitting בפתחו של גיהנום. Avraham Avinu sitting on an entrance to Gehenna. What's the connection? Listen to that, Rabotai. Say the Gemara in Masechet Eruvin Yutet Amud Aleph. That means 1941, Eruvin. That Avraham Avinu sitting on the entrance to Gehenna. And a person that didn't done Brit Milah, okay, Avraham Avinu allow him to go to Gehenna. But if a person done a Brit Milah, a Jewish person, Avraham Avinu doesn't allow him to go to Gehenna. אברהם אבינו יושב על פתחו של גיהנום. וכל מי שעשה ברית מילה, a person that done ברית מילה, אברהם אבינו doesn't allow him to enter. say חז"ל, you know why the Torah tell us, והוא יושב פתח האוהל? Which oil they talking? לפשט הדברים, according to the pshat, he's sitting by the entrance to his tent. But say חז"ל, Avraham Avinu is sitting by the entrance to Gehenna. And if a person done Brit Milah, Avraham Avinu somehow doesn't allow him to enter, save him. Say Hazal in a Gemara, but that's in a condition. If he done Brit Milah and he been with a Goya, with a non-Jewish person, with a Gentile, and he didn't done tshuva, Avraham Avinu pretend like he didn't see him, like he didn't see that he done Brit Milah. Hazal say another situation, that if a person done a Brit Milah, he done a Brit Milah, a person done a Brit Milah, but he pulled the skin, he pulling the skin to pretend like he didn't done Brit Milah. Avraham Avinu in these two situations, pretend like he didn't see him, and he let them enter Gehenom. So what do you learn from here? Said the Mefarshim. You learn from here that Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Eruvin that a person do Brit Milah, Avraham Avinu saved him from Gehenom. That's if he didn't sin to be with a non-Jewish woman, or if he let his skin grow to cover the atara. The atara, that means he let grow that it's covered the Brit Milah. But if a person, Hazal say in a Gemara, and they explain that if a person been with a Goya, and the Yetzer Hara came over him, but he done tshuva, Avraham Avinu still there. The Mekubalim explain that the Brit, it's one of the most powerful things in a Jewish religion. And a person that keep his Brit, okay, Brit Kodesh they call it. It's not just Brit Kodesh. A person that keep himself holy, consider a holy person. Who's been called Tzaddik? Okay, Yosef, that kept his Brit Kodesh. Not many people being called tzaddikim. Let's go to verse 21, because I spent enough time just on the first verse. I'm going to jump to verse 21. And here we're speaking about what's happened in Sodom V'Amorah. And here it's like this. Erdana ve'er'eh, hakitsa'akata הבאה אליי עשו. כלה ואם לא אדעה. בכבוד.
I will descend and see. If they act in accordance with its outcry, which has come to me, then destruction. And if not, I will know. What's happening here? First of all, we have to understand, and the question that we have to ask, why is it say hakitsa'akata in feminine?
What it doesn't say tzaka, haketzakata, speaking in a feminine. Question. That's our main question. What's happening here? First of all, let's do some history. Chazal tell us in a midrash that the city of Sodom was such a fertilized area, such a fertilized place, that 1 in 40 years they used to plant. That's all. 1 every 40 years they used to plant the ground, and for the rest, the ground used to bring fruit, vegetables, and everything. Okay, Chazal in a Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, I saw it when? Yesterday. No. Yeah, Chazal in Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, page 100, if someone want to see it. Chazal there say what's going to happen in Sodom V'Amorah when the Mashiach come. Remember, and if you want to look at it, it's the prophecy of the prophet Yehezkel in chapter 47. Yes. Chazal tell us that the city of Sodom was a very like Gan Eden. Gan Eden, no other thing than that. And they didn't need to ply. Everyone was rich. They was short with nothing. And the city of Sodom, the member of the city of Sodom, was worrying because they was doing so well that foreigner will come to their place and they gonna lose. If they're gonna come, they're gonna lose all the wealth that they have and the prosperity that they have on that land. So what they used to do, the Midrash saying that if a poor person come to Sodom and he used to ask for tzedakah, they used to give him money. But they used to give him money, and the member of Sodom didn't allow him to buy nothing in Sodom. So many people used to get money, poor people, but they couldn't buy without food, they couldn't buy without water, and they died. Chazal say in the Midrash that one time was a poor person come to Sodom, and they given him money. And 1 day survived, 2 days survived, 3 days, nothing happened to him. And he's still alive. The member of Sodom say, how can it be that that person now here a week and he can still survive? He doesn't die, not from thirst, not from hunger. How's he surviving? We understand he's sleeping on the street, but how's he survive? And they start following him, and they start watching him, and they investigated what happened, and they used to see him always sitting by the well. Okay, what is he doing all day by the well in certain hours? And they saw that from time to time used to come a little girl, not so little, and she used to have a jug in her hand, and she used to draw water. And she used to draw water, but when she used to hold the jug, underneath the jug she used to hold with the hand was a piece of bread that she always used to give that poor person. She felt sorry for him. So she used to look around and no one sees. She used to put it by the side that no one can see. And that poor person used to come, take the piece of bread, and that's how he survived. Say Hazal, when the member of Sodom saw that, they were so cruel that they obviously took her clothes out of her. They left her naked. But what they done, they took honey and they poured honey all over her body, and they left her lying on top of the well. They tie her so she can't run away. And the bees came and started stinging her. And she was screaming from pain. HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard that screaming. And that's when he turned, he decided to destroy Sodom, the city of Sodom. Say Hazal, now you can understand why is it haketzakata, effeminate. HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened to the scream of that girl, that she was screaming from pain, that the bees were stinging her until they killed her. And that's why the Pasuk said to hint to us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu hear what? The scream of that girl. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back, like we say. That's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides, now I'm going to punish who? I'm going to punish the city of Sodom, and I'm going to destroy it. Let's go to chapter 19. In chapter 19, verse 11, I'm skipping quite a bit. And now we're going to bring the Zera Shimshon, like we always bring the Zera Shimshon. And look what it says. ואת האנשים אשר פתח הבית, היכו בסנוורים, מקטן ועד גדול, וילאו למצוא את הפתח.
Then the men said to Lot, whom else do you have here? A son-in-law, your sons, or your daughters? All that you have in the city, remove from the place.
Jeffrey, you read verse 12. I said verse 11, please. If you don't mind, verse 11. One before.
Sorry.
No problem.
And the
no
men
problem.
who at the entrance of the house, they struck with blindness, from small to great, and they tried vainly to find the entrance.
Okay. What's happening here? When the wife of Lot, when Lot asked his wife to go and bring salt, because they didn't have salt at home, so she gone to the neighbor and she told them, listen, we need salt. They asked her why. And she said, we have visitors. The rumor spread like a fire, and immediately the member of Sodom stood up on a doorstep of Lot. And they wanted to enter in, to take those visitors and to deal with them. The question became, why did the angel punish the member of Sodom with a punishment of blindness? That's the question of the Zera Shimshon. Who's the Zera Shimshon? The Zera Shimshon is Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani. Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani, born in the city of Modena. Modena is in the north of Italy. He born around 318 years ago. And every Sheol, we bring in his commentary on Shabbos. This coming Shabbos, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to bring more of his commentary because he speaks according to the Kabbalah. He was a great Kabbalistic. And the reason I always repeat, why do we learn Zera Shimshon, is when you learn his Torah, his commentary, he will stand in heaven, he promised in his book, Zera Shimshon, that he will pray for us. So I would like to dedicate that Sheol, that the merit of the Zera Shimshon will stand and protect all the Jewish all over the world, our children, our soldiers, our brothers that now in Gaza, that now in the north, that the merit of the Zera Shimshon will stand to him, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmerem v'yaginem v'yatzilem mikol tsar ve'oyev, please God. Said the Zera Shimshon, why Dafka, the angel, punish the member of Sodom with blindness? The Zera Shimshon bring two different interpretations. The first interpretation that he bring, and he said like this. He said, you know why they punished them in blindness? It was midah keneged midah, measure for measure. What was the measure for measure? Said the Zera Shimshon, you know what was the sin of the people of Sodom? That they have ayin hara. What does it mean, ayin hara? The evil eye. What does it mean? Said the Zera Shimshon, they covet the money that not belong to them. They didn't want to give their money. They have ayin hara on other people's money. And because of that when someone come to the city, they used to take his money also. They have a strange law. Say, listen to that. Say Hazal, when I say Hazal is the Zera Shimshon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them measure for measure. What? They have a covet with their eye. They look at other people's money. They wanted other people's money. HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them. They didn't want to host other people because they care about the money. HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them measure for measure because their sin was with their eyes that they covered other people's money. Come the Zera Shimshon and say, let's go a bit deeper. And I'll tell you why is it. Chazal in Gemara Masechet Eruvin 17 folio 2 Yud Zayin Amud Bet say Melach the Melach Zdomit Mesama et ha'inayim. What does it mean? We have a salt that called Melach Zdomit. What is it? It's a salt that came from Zdom. Okay? It's called the Zdominite salt. And if in olden days they used to eat with their hand, and if there is this kind of a salt on a bread, on a food, and a person eat with his hand and then has v'shalom touch his eyes, he can be blind. That's Chazal in the Gemara Masechet Eruvin, page 17, folio 2. Kam Baal HaLibushim, Rabbi Mordechai Yafe. Rabbi Mordechai Yafe, he born in the Czech Republic, in the city of Prague. He born around 496, okay, years ago. And in his commentary on the Gemara, he explains something extraordinary. He says, you know that, by the way, the Shulchan Aruch pasken that we should do Mayim Achronim Mishum Melach Zdomit. That's Shulchan Aruch. Okay? That's Rabbi Yosef Karo. Rabbi Yosef Karo, born in the city of Toledo in Spain. He born 535 years ago. 536. Said the Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, in Siman Kuf Samech Zayin, 167, say that there is, after you finish to eat, we do, when I said to eat, when you eat bread, we do Mayim Achronim. One of the reasons, Hazal explained, that it can cause a person to become blind. Then the Gemara say, no, there's another reason. Melach Zdomit, okay, Mayim Achronim argu et hanefesh, that the person got killed. Let's don't get into that specific. Come the Baal HaLibushim, and he say on his commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, he say, you know why we have to put salt on a table? Because the job of the salt make the shulchan like a mizbeach, like an altar. And the job of the salt is to get rid of all the evil forces. If there is salt on a table, said the Mekubalim, it's to get rid of all the evil forces. And I explained once before that it's also good that's brought by Rabbeinu Ari, Rabbi Yitzhak Luri Ashkenazi. He born in Jerusalem 489 years ago. He explained that it's good to have also hyssop. Hyssop and salt together on a table. And Ayin Hara, there's all the evil forces disappear. All of those that have evil eyes also go. Say Baal HaLibushim, Rabbi Mordechai Yafe, what is the job of the salt? It's to turn the table to an altar. What was the job of the altar when we bring korban? Is to do atonement. He said when you put salt on a table, sorry, say Baal HaLibushim, when you put salt on a table, it's doing atonement and it's get rid of all the mezikim, all the evil forces. He said that the wife of Noah didn't want to bring salt. Therefore, she didn't have protection. If they didn't have protection, that's why what's happened to the member of the city of Sodom now being punished. Why they been punished? Because they done the sin what with the eyes. And the salt that was on the table protected who? Protected Noah and his family. But who it didn't protect? The member of Sodom. Why? Because they suddenly there's visitors. Said the Baal HaLibushim, from here you hear something very important. It's turned from here that because there is salt on a table, there is protection. And by that they have salt on a table, it protect. But those that didn't want the salt, it didn't protect them. That means that the salt that's supposed to do atonement, and because the salt has v'shalom, if you take melach zdomit and it's blind a person's eyes, that's why the member, when I said hey, I'm referring to the member of Sdom, been hit with blindness, because the melach zdomit blind a person, and that's why they've been punished. So now we understand why Hakadosh Baruch Hu, why the angel Daka punished the member of Stov with the punishment of blind. Two different ideas. Let's move on to verse 11. No, verse where I am. Yeah, no. Let's do chapter 20, verse 11. I would like to skip on because we're running very, very late. 20:11. Jeffrey, chapter 20, verse 11.
Right.
Okay, and look what it says here. ויאמר אברהם, כי אמרתי, רק אין יראת אלוהים במקום הזה, והרגוני על דבר אשתי.
And Abraham said, because I said, there is but no fear of God in this place, and they will slay me because of my wife.
רבותיי, listen to that, and I'm going to connect it to what's happening in Eretz Israel with the Hamas. The word Hamas, we know that it's robbery. The Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra, born in the city of Toledo, 933 years ago in Spain. Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra, in his commentary on the Torah, when it said "V'mal'a haaretz Hamas" in Parashat Noah, when it speaks of the Mabul, he said what it means Hamas, that kidnapping woman. Okay, and here we're speaking about a woman, about Sarai Menu. Avraham Avinu said to Sarai Menu, I'm worried. What is he worried? That Has v'Shalom, that they're gonna kill him because she's a nice looking woman. Seder, we understand. Said the Malbin. Who was the Malbin? The Malbin was Rami Meir Lebush Ben Yehiel Michael Weiser. He born in Ukraine around 213 years ago. In his commentary on the Torah, he explained that verse, and he say, Avraham Avinu come to warn us that people that doesn't have fear of heaven, maybe they can speak in the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like our cousin, you know, they can pretend that they're speaking in the name of Hashem, but if they doesn't have the fear of heaven, although that they might gonna look culture, that can also refer to Germany, the Nazi of Germany. They maybe look to you like good people that maybe have a good, they pretend to have good character trait. Say if they don't have the fear of heaven, they don't understand anything about humanity. They don't understand anything about humanity. They don't have a clue and value for humanity. Say Avraham Avinu that I'm worried that they might, Has v'Shalom, that when I go now to Eretz Plishtim, sorry, I say Egypt at the beginning, you go to Avimelech in Eretz Plishtim, again, Eretz Plishtim is Gaza, Rabotai. He say, if I go to that land, and they don't have the fear of heaven, if I say that you're my wife, Has v'Shalom, that they might gonna kill him. So therefore, I'm going to a place that they don't have the fear of heaven. Therefore, I say that you're my sister. I'm not your husband. Come to teach us something very important, that people that doesn't have the fear of heaven can kill, can murder, can do unhuman acts, okay? Or inhuman acts. Why? Because they desire. And we saw it, Rabotai, on the 7th of October. We saw what's happened. That they have that desire to destroy, to kill, to annihilate every Jew. And they didn't consider anything. Burned people alive, chopped people's hands, took people's eyes while they're alive, raped women. Where's that? Eretz Plishtim, Gaza. Who came after that, after Avimelech? Was Goliath. Remember, Goliath, Amalek. Say the Hashalah, Rabbi Yeshua Levy Horowitz. He said, how do you know who's Amalek? Those that fight with the Jewish people, start a war with the Jewish people. That's also brought by the Gaon Mevilna, Rabbi Eliyahu Mevilna. They're all explaining that those that fight with the Jewish people, those Amalek. Where are they? Plishtim. Where was Amalek? Goliath. Goliath, where did he come? Plishtim, Eretz Plishtim. Where's Plishtim? Goliath, by the way, was in a time of King Saul, Amelech Shaul, when he came. David Amelech killed them. What does it come to teach us? You cannot have any mercy on your enemies. Chazal say in the Gemara, Ar merachem al achzarim, sofo litachzer al rachmanim. A person that have mercy on cruel people, in the end, he will have mercy even on those that have mercy. How much we have to be careful. We were so nice to them. People, there's a woman there that used to take kids from Gaza to be treated in Eretz Israel. They killed her and they raped her. Yes. Stories like you can't believe. That's Plishtim. And I said that I have to put it together to link it. I'm sorry if I'm bringing politics to Sheol Torah, but they are our enemy. And there is a mitzvah from the Torah. Okay? Zechor et asher asa lecha Amalek. Okay? We have a mitzvah to remember what he done to us. Look what they done to us on the 7th of October. We have a mitzvah, the only nation that we have to annihilate. Let's go to chapter 21, verse 1. Here we're speaking about that Sarah Imenu. Look what it says. V'Adonai pakad et Sarah ka'asher amar, vayas Adonai leSarah ka'asher diber.
Hashem had remembered Sarah, as he has said, and Hashem did for Sarah as he had spoken.
Okay. If you look in this verse, Sarah actually mentioned twice.
Yeah.
V'Hashem pakad et Sarah. One. Vayas Hashem leSarah ka'asher diber. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu given her pregnancy, okay? And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu done what he promised her. Come Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera. And he said, I don't understand. Why the word Sarah mentioned twice? You can say, Hashem pakad et Sarah, vayas la ka'asher diber. Why do you have to tell me in a pasuk twice her name? We know that in the Torah there is not one word extra. Every word have a meaning. Say Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera, I'll explain to you. Chazal in the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot. Gemara Masechet Yevamot, Samech Daled Amud Bet 64, folio 2. Chazal tell us, Vatehi Sarah Akara ve'en la valad. Sarah was a barren and she wouldn't have a womb. Sarah Imenu, not enough that she was a barren, that she couldn't have pregnant children. She didn't have a womb. She couldn't have kids. So Sarah Imenu have two problems. Number one, barren. Number two, didn't have a womb. Well, don't know how to say it, how to pronounce it properly, but I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. Sir Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera, you know why it's mentioned here twice, the name Sarah? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he done the miracle that Sarah Imenu fall pregnant, number one, that she mustn't be barren. Number two, how is she going to carry the baby? She need a womb. That's why it's mentioned twice the word Sarah. To tell you, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done a double miracle with Sarah. Number one, that he cured her. And number one, he given her a place that she can keep the baby. That means that number one, that she's not going to be anymore barren. And number two, that she's going to have a womb to keep the baby. And that's why it's mentioned twice, Sarah, in the verse. Let's go to chapter 22. I know that I'm over time, but I'm going to finish soon. Chapter 22, verse 1. And here we see that the test of the Akedah. ויהי אחר הדברים האלה, והאלוהים נישא את אברהם, ויאמר אליו, אברהם, ויאמר הנני. בכבוד.
And it happened after these things that God tested Abraham, and he said to him, Abraham, and he replied, here I am.
Okay. Chazal in the Gemara, first of all, in Masechet Sanhedrin, in page Peitet, Amud Aleph, Peitet is 89, volume 1. Chazal said that what's happened here, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, before he tested Avraham Avinu with the last test, the test of the Akedah, the Satan came to him and criticized, you see, Avraham Avinu done a big feast and he never given anything for tzedakah. So what are you talking about? Avraham Avinu given everyone, he given him food, he done feast. Yes, but he didn't given any offering to you. He said, the Satan said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know what? Test him. Tell him to bring you offering. He said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the Yetzer Hara, even if I tell him to take his son to sacrifice, he will do that sacrifice for me. He said, yes, let's see. The Yetzer Hara jumped. And what does it say here? Va'elokim nisa et Avraham. Here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham Avinu according to the Rambam, the great eagle, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. He born in the city of Cordova in Spain. He born around 883 years ago. Said the Rambam that was the final test and the most difficult test. Come the Mefarshim and say, I don't understand. Wait a minute. You said that Abraham Avinu, by that he took Yitzhak Avinu to the Akedah, that was the most difficult thing. What about all of those Jews that we know during the Spanish Inquisition, during the pogrom of Hamanitsky and his friends, the Holocaust, all of the Jews that now, we saw miracle like you can't believe, the sacrifice. Little kids that jumping on grenade that been thrown. Parents that jumping off grenades. Parents that was willing to be killed that as long no one gonna touch their families. Where is that? What about that sacrifice? That's the question of the Mefarshim. What's different between the Akedah to where other people being killed for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So beautiful commentary of the Gaon Hida. Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, he born in Jerusalem 299 years ago. The Gaon Hida say like this. He say, you know who given all those Jews that courage to die for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Abraham Avinu, when he been thrown to the furnace. He said, I'll explain to you where is the guts that they had. Abraham Avinu been thrown, he was 3 years old. He's the one that implanted in every Jew's heart that courage to die for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to die for the sake of other people. To die for the sake because they're Jews. To jump into the fire like Avraham Avinu. You say, I'll tell you, but what's the difference? The difference is that when Avraham Avinu took Yitzhak and Abraham didn't have a doubt. They done it besimcha, with joy. Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu walked to the Akedah with joy, although that they knew that the only son that Abraham had from Sarah gonna die. That's what he was thinking. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Aleu le'olah. He didn't say to him, to Shechteim, Aleu le'olah. Put him on top of the altar and bring him down. We spoke about it in previous showing. Say, but Avraham Avinu didn't know. Yitzhak Avinu was in the age of 37. Why Dafka in the age of 37? That was the test. We explained in previous showing. Please God, different time we'll explain. Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu walked to the Akedah with happiness. The one was happy to sacrifice his only son. The other one was happy to die on the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Say, the Gaon Hida, that's the difference. The difference is that because they done it with Simcha, what all the others didn't have a chance. Those that die because they're Jews, if they have an option, they wouldn't die. Those that sacrifice themselves, if they have another option, they wouldn't do it. Avraham Avinu have an option. He could not take him. Yitzhak Avinu didn't have to go, but they walk. He said that's why the merit of the Akedah that we always mention in Rosh Hashanah, in Yom Kippur, that please God, Rabotai, that this merit of Yitzhak Avinu will stand now and go and stand in the front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in heaven and protect our soldier in Gaza, our children, our kids, our brothers, our families all over Eretz Israel, and all the Jews all over the world, that merit of the Akedah, Be'ezrat Hashem, Yitzhak Avinu and Avraham Avinu will stand and shake the heaven, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu protect every Jew, every soldier, that not even a scratch gonna happen to them. We have enough casualty, and Be'ezrat Hashem, that we'll see Mashiach Titkenu speedily in our day, Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon, that the merit of the Mashiach, the merit of Yitzhak Avinu, the merit of Abraham Avinu, the merit of Sarah Imenu, and all the forefathers will stand up and shake the heaven, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Titkenu v'yomar dai letzarotenu. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the shiur. First of all, thank you very much to all of you. We're going to have a show on Sunday, Be'ezrat Hashem. But those of you that want to ask questions regarding the shiur, please unmute your microphone and ask question. Bechavod. Those of you that want to ask question. Bechavod. Ken. No? Question? Who want to ask? Ken. Bechavod. Bechavod. Ken.
Robert, just a question on going back. Just a bit on when Avram had hit the Brit, and then he became all the evil forces were all gone and what have you. And it mentioned that
that's the Ola. The Ola. Yes, the Ola. Let me explain it. Right. First of all, what is a Brit? We have to understand what is a Brit. The Brit have a foreskin.
Yeah.
The foreskin, you have to cut it. After you cut the foreskin, after the moil put them again and he cut the foreskin, there is another 2 jobs that you have to do. The Brit have 3 jobs. Number 1, he cut the foreskin that's full of tumah, full of impurity. And he put it on the sand, we give it to the snake, to the nahash. Because he's full of tumah, it's going to him. After that, he have to tear the membrane over the atara. Then the moil have to suck a little bit of blood. Okay?
Yep.
In Avraham Avinu, he couldn't do that. Avraham Avinu couldn't do the tearing of the membrane because he wasn't a young man. You follow?
Yeah.
Now, the question is, Avraham Avinu done the Brit Milah. Who done the Brit Milah to Avraham Avinu? Said the Zohar HaKadosh and bring Rashi. Rashi HaKadosh also bringing it. That Avraham Avinu, his hand was shaking.
Shaking.
Now we have to do Brit Milah. It's not simple in the age of 99. Kama HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, Ve'achas beyado. He hold his hand and help him to do Brit Milah. He help him to remove that foreskin. Beseder? Now, just for general understanding. Now you can ask. Beseder. Now you can ask the question.
Ooh. Okay, so up to my just question with this: when did Sarah become part of this union of the Brit? Because you got when you have a Brit, the person must be Jewish. That you cannot sleep with someone, or you cannot have a relationship with someone who's not Jewish. So when does Sarah?
Okay. When did Sarah become Jewish? Okay. So Hazal explained that until Ma'amad Har Sinai, until we received the Torah, it was no problem to be with a Gentile. So you're going to ask me, but wait a minute, what's happened with Yosef? Yosef didn't have a problem to be with Potiphar's wife. It was the mitzvah of Eshet Ish, a married woman. When is it become that we're not allowed to be with a Gentile, to have a Gentile woman that's not Jewish when they receive the Torah and Ma'amad Har Sinai? From then. But before that, we never heard about it. It was not Jewish people. The word Jewish come from Yehuda.
Yeah.
When is it become? After we received the Torah. And then, that's when it's become. Where do we see that? We see that many times was no problem. Like Shimon married Dinah, married his sister. Okay? That's Ahayot, brother and sister. Lo haya ba'aya. Only after Ma'amad Har Sinai, what was one of the 7 mitzvot that Noah had, until there, it was the mitzvah of, remember, Eshet Ish, married woman. בסדר?
בסדר, נכון.
Another question, בכבוד. Who else want to ask a question? Jeffrey, you have another one, בכבוד.
Yes, I have another question.
בכבוד. I see that Eitan want to ask. I see that Anthony want to ask. Eitan, בכבוד. Eitan, בכבוד.
How you doing?
Baruch Hashem, thank you for joining us. Also, I would like to take the opportunity to thank Dez. Dez, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. בכבוד. Eitan.
I just wanted to recap and go back on you're saying about the Hamas and the terrorists. Which descendants do they come from? Because we look at Amalek. You say you need to destroy Amalek, but we know that I'm saying that the Hamas and that
Who was Hamas? Hamas. You must understand. Hamas. Chazal say in the Gemara, and the Prophet say, and it's brought in the Midrashim. It's brought by the Prophet. And the Gemarot, באחרית הימים, in the end of days, עתיד ישמעאל לעשות צרות גדולות בעולם. Ishmael is the son of Hagar and Avraham Avinu. And in the last parsha it says, והוא פרא אדם, ידו בכל ויד כל בו. מה זה פרא אדם? He's in the shape of a human being, but he's unhuman. And that's Ishmael. והוא פרא אדם, ידו בכל ויד כל בו. Who he was. Ishmael was the son of Avraham Avinu and Hagar. And we explained in last week Parsha why did Sarai Menu make the life of Hagar misery. We explained that Hagar, when she saw that she fall pregnant and Sarah doesn't fall pregnant, she was thinking that she more, Has v'shalom, more tzadeket than Sarah. the angel come to her and say, return to Sarah and be a slave back. We explain what the angel said. The angel said to her, don't think that Sarah Imenu not tzadeket. Sarah Imenu doesn't want to have a child from Avraham Avinu because Avraham Avinu at the moment full of tumah. Why? Because you have all the tumah you took from him. Number one, the tumah of Terah, that his father was an idol worshipper, and all the tumah that he had with the foreskin. Sarah Imenu doesn't want that. Sarah Imenu wants a child like Yitzhak. So what she done? To take all of that impurity, she gonna give it to you. And that's why you fall pregnant. Not that she can't tzadeket. If Sarah Imenu wanted to fall pregnant, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do it for her. But she wanted a tzaddik, a clean neshama, a pure neshama, a holy neshama. Therefore, you're going to be slave. Follow, that's the Zera Shimshon. Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani explained that. Okay? So who was the descendant of Ishmael? Who is Ishmael? Ishmael is, Hagar was the daughter of Pharaoh. Okay? And Pharaoh given Hagar to Sarah Imenu to be a slave. And then Sarah Imenu given Hagar to who? To Avraham Avinu, and that's where Ishmael comes. That's our cousin. More cousin like this, we don't need. So who's the Ishmaelim that we have today? We know who's the Ishmaelim, Eitan. We know them very well. We have a lot of experience with them. And the Ishmaelim, they, our cousin. But Amalek, it's a different. Amalek came from Timnah and Eliphaz. Eliphaz was the son of Esav. And he took Timnah, and he have a son, and that's where come Amalek. Amalek, יימח שמו וזכרו. כן. בסדר, איתן?
Yeah, just the one pasuk you mentioned in the beginning, can you just translate that? The first part of the pasuk before you mentioned Peri Adam, you said...
עתיד ישמעאל לעשות צרות גדולות בעולם. That means that the Ishmaelite, before the Mashiach come, going to do problem all over the world. Look what they're doing all over the world. Look at the Taurus.
Wow.
You see it? The prophecy coming. בסדר?
תודה רבה.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I've Anthony, you wanted to ask a question. Anthony, you wanted to ask a question? No. Anthony, no. Okay, Jeffrey, you wanted to ask another question?
Yes, there's a couple. Just on the story we're telling us about the Abraham's three friends, and he went.
Eshkol and Mamre.
So, and you mentioned it. He didn't really go. He had no doubt in his mind that he was going ahead with the brit. He had no doubt. So, what was the purpose? And you mentioned that to see where they held. Does it really matter? Or did it matter where he was going to pitch his tent and where he was going to stay? Because if he's going to stay with someone who has a lot of trust in Hashem, there's a special energy in that place. There's a special energy because if you're with people that believe or not believe, so is it because of that he asked that question and to where he would have pitched his tent? If let's say Mamre was the other way around, he would have pitched it at where Eshkol was, or could that be?
No, that's right. But it's come to tell you. Hazal in the Mishnah in Masechet Avot tell us. Aseh lecha rab ukne lecha haver. Make yourself a rabbi that he's going to paskin for your halachot. To learn, you can learn from every rabbi. Ukne lecha haver, and buy you a friend. What does it mean, a friend? A friend that you can ask, you can talk, and you can tell him your secret. Avraham Avinu wanted to know which one of those friends, those three close friends, he can rely on them, that when it's come to Kedusha, when it's come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You follow?
That's a very good explanation. Thank you. That
בסדר?
clears it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Oof.
Any other question? בכבוד, רבותיי, don't be shy. I hope that it's going to give you a different insight on a parsha when you read. Rabotai, those of you that want to listen to the Pardes, Pshat Remez Drash Sod in Shabbat, in Yeshiva College, in a big shul, an hour before Mincha, it's going to be around, I think, 10 to 5. I'm there before, 10 minutes before for question. Then I'm going to speak more in depth. What we spoke today, it's more depth, but not really depth. There I'm going to bring a lot of different of the Zera Shimshon in depth, mamash in depth, all the mystical idea that behind everything that's happening. For example, why Dafka the age of 37? Why Dafka HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide to test Avraham Avinu, to put Yitzhak Avinu on a test in the age of 37? Okay, another interpretation, why Dafka Sdom va'Amora turned to sulfur? What was that punishment? What's hiding behind? והקדוש ברוך הוא המטיר על סדום גופרית ואש. Why דווקא that? In depth, we're going to try to understand. Okay, any other question, רבותיי?
You mentioned, Rav, you mentioned, yeah, you mentioned not to mention, which Shem doesn't mention Avram's name. You explained that you don't mention the name of a sick person, and because that person.
Not good to mention the
it's
name
like
of
criticizing.
the
It's like criticizing the person.
It's like,
because of Vayera.
יש
So,
מה שנקרא קטרוג על האדם. When a person sick, יש קטרוג על האדם. The person now, מידת הדין, the judgment, לא עלינו. The character of judgment now on a person. And if you mention it and you want to do mishiberach to him, it's a problem. As I'll say. That's Rabbi Yosef Castro, remember.
Right. Is it in a similar vein? The similar thing is that when someone is sick and it's bad, that we actually change the name or add to the name. Is it the same type of thing? Because I had a friend who was very, very ill, and we went to shul and we added the name Chaim to his name.
Yeah.
And is that the similar thing? Because it could be something to do with the name.
So as I'll say, that's when a person really in a danger, life and death, as I'll say, עושים שינוי השם. מה זה שינוי השם? They're changing the name. What does it mean changing the name? They're adding up another name. That means that the first name, whatever he was, you're adding up Chaim to him. Chaim is life. Okay? And that's to confuse Haz v'Shalom. Okay? You understand what I'm talking about. I don't want to carry on. You know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for
That's
beautiful.
why they call it Shinui Hashem. Beseder, if that's explaining everything.
Yeah. Thank you. Cool.
Louis.
So much.
How are you, Rolf?
Louis, how are you?
I'm
It's
fine,
so nice
thank
to
you.
see you with us.
Thank
How
you,
are
thank
you?
you. I'm
Again,
fine,
Louis.
thank you.
Bechavod. Yes, Louis. Bechavod.
How are you keeping there, Rolf?
Baruch Hashem, how are you keeping in Eretz Israel?
Well, we're thinking of all the boys, unfortunately, that have been killed and things like that.
לא פשוט.
And unfortunately, we've got the mamzers there that...
Yeah. Don't give us a piece of what?
Yeah.
But
otherwise, thanks to Hashem, we're all fine. And we carry on.
It's so nice to hear that. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Yes, Louis. Ask me the question. Chavod.
No, I've got no questions.
Okay, Chavod.
I have got no questions at the moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was thinking that you had a question because I see you unmuted. But I said first, I'm going to greet
No,
you.
I'm muted to say hello to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Rabotai, there is any other question? No, if there is no question, I would like, first of all, to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Thank you very, very much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I would like to wish each one of you personally, first of all, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Mevorechet, that it will be a beautiful Shabbos to all of us, Shabbos of peace in Eretz Israel, Shabbos of guardians in Eretz Israel, and all the Jews all over the world. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring our boys, our brothers, our sisters, that's in Gaza, in the north, wherever they are, without a scratch. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. And we should have
Amen.
in our the merit to see the Mashiach in our eyes. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon, speedily in our days. Wish you all, Rabotai, thank you for joining us. Shabbat Shalom U'Mvorechet to you and to your family, and a peaceful, to all the world, peaceful Shabbos and a peaceful year ahead. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. All the best. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you, Rolf.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Good Shabbos.
Good night.
Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos.